the mind. Now, here's your host, Jim Gaver.
Welcome back, everyone. I believe at the end of our last game, I misspoke myself when I said that Goodrich had become our first semifinalist. They, in fact, have become the first finalists in our 1995-96 competition here at High School Challenge. In just a few minutes from now, we will know their competition, as our second finalist will come from one of these two teams. Let's meet them now, shall we? First, from Lapeer East High School, we have Melissa Wilmot. Melissa is a junior, member of the National Honor Society. She enjoys tutoring, plans to go to college, is undecided on where, and will major in elementary education. Rachel Skousen is a junior at Lapeer East. Rachel likes to play and watch sports, plays the piano and reads. She's a high honors student, a member of the National Honor Society, plans to go on to college as well, undecided on college and major choice. Captain of the Lapeer East team is Katie Anderson. Katie's a sophomore, plays in the band, enjoys writing music and poetry. She is also a high honor student, member of the youth group and summer tutoring programs. She will attend Harvard, where she will go to law school and become a prosecuting attorney. And rounding out the Lapeer East team is Austin Bryan. Austin is a sophomore as well. His extracurricular activities include playing the oboe in the symphony band, is a high honors student, and is also undecided on college and career track. Those are our players from Lapeer East. The team is coached by Allison Bassman, and we welcome all of you from over in Lapeer, as we welcome our next semifinal team, and that's our team from North Branch High School. There we have Chris Pratt. Chris is a junior, a member of the Philosophy Club, computer programming, enjoys writing poetry, playing in the band, and singing. Will attend Michigan State and then on to Harvard to major in English literature and minor in philosophy. Captain of the North Branch team is Bob Poplinski. Bob is a junior, member of the National Honor Society golf team. He's drum major of the band. He enjoys ice hockey and roller hockey. He's unsure on a college choice right now, but wants to pursue a career in music. Clint Hoagland is a senior at North Branch. He enjoys writing music and vending ice cream. He's a PATS Award winner and a National Merit Commended student. Will be attending Michigan State to study music. And rounding out the North Branch team is Adam Granke. Adam is a junior, plays golf, enjoys reading. He's a member of the Philosophy Club and Chess Club, enjoys writing and computer programming. He will be attending Michigan State as well, where he will study computer science or engineering. Those are our players from North Branch High School. They are coached by Gordon Winther, and alternates with the team today include Joel C., Greg Gonzalez, Josh Meyer, Mike Snee, Jim Schleicher, John Stalker, and Wes Kempa. So we welcome all of you from both of our schools, wish you the best of luck in this semifinal game. I remind you that our judge for High School Challenge from Genesee Intermediate School District is Barb Powers. Our timekeeper, scorekeeper for this semifinal game is Christina Dowd. Teams, you've been here a number of times before, but once again, here are your rules for round one. I'll ask you a series of questions worth 10 points apiece. The player buzzing first may answer when I recognize you. If you're correct, your team scores the 10 points. If you're incorrect, the other team gets a shot at the same question. Remember, you may interrupt me at any time I'm asking a question. There's no point penalty if you're incorrect. However, at that point, I'll repeat the entire question for the other team. Good luck. Here we go. Your first toss-up. For Roman Catholics, it celebrates the visit of the angel Gabriel to the Virgin Mary to tell her that she would be Bob, North Branch.
Immaculate Conception.
That's incorrect. For Roman Catholics, it celebrates the visit of the angel Gabriel to the Virgin Mary to tell her that she would be the mother of Jesus. What is this event called? Time's up. It's the Feast of the Annunciation. And here's your next toss-up, teams. This small arboreal animal has a muzzle like a fox, large eyes, very soft fur, and a long furry tail. What is this distant relative of the monkey? Adam, North Branch.
Lemur.
Lemur is correct. Your next toss-up, teams. Several of this Nobel Prize-winning author's novels have been made into movies, including Pylon, Sanctuary, Bob, North Branch.
William Faulkner.
William Faulkner is correct. Another toss-up. He was shot in Deadwood, South Dakota, as he was playing a game of Rachel, Lapeer East.
Wild Bill Hickok.
Wild Bill Hickok is correct. An area near hell mentioned in Dante's Inferno and a West Indian dance have a common Bob, North Branch.
Limbo.
Limbo is correct. He shot down 80 Allied planes in... Buzz again, please. Chris, North Branch.
The Red Baron.
Not acceptable. I'll repeat the entire question. He shot down 80 Allied planes in World War I. His Red Fokker triplane gave him his nickname, the Red Baron. Who was this German ace? Richthofen is the correct answer. And here's your next toss-up. Albania, Bulgaria, Greece, Romania, and what remains of Yugoslavia are all part of this historical European peninsula. What is it called? Austin, Lapeer East.
Balkan.
Balkan is correct. In literature, it included Baudelaire, Verlaine, and Mallarmé. In music, it includes works by Ravel, Respighi, and Debussy. In art, the works of Monet and Renoir. What name has been given to all of these artistic movements? Bob, North Branch.
Impressionism.
Impressionism is correct. And here's another toss-up. Botanists call it an algae. Zoologists call it a protozoa. Katie, Lapeer East.
Blue-green algae?
That's incorrect. I'll repeat. Botanists call it an algae. Zoologists call it a protozoa. No wonder it's confusing. These single-cell creatures possess both chromatophores and flagella, making them both plants and animals. Clint, North Branch.
Euglena.
Euglena is the correct answer. Another toss-up. In this long poem by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, the heroine travels from Grand Pré to Louisiana, to the Ozarks, to Michigan, and Pennsylvania, where she is finally reunited with her dying fiancé, Gabriel. Bob, North Branch.
Evangeline.
Evangeline is correct. Next toss-up teams. One is a city on the south coast of Devon, England. The other is a city in southeastern Massachusetts. The Pilgrims left the first... Rachel, Lapeer East.
Plymouth?
Plymouth is the correct answer. In 1995, geologists had their first evidence that one of these had broken and the parts were moving apart. What are these? Clint, North Branch.
Tectonic plates.
Tectonic plates is the correct answer. Another toss-up. Founded in 1881 by Henry Stanley, who named it Leopoldville, it became the capital of the Belgian Congo and is now the capital of Bob, North Branch.
Kinshasa.
Kinshasa is correct. Israfel to the Muslims, Raphael to the Jews, Michael to Catholics. Chris, North Branch.
The Archangel.
That's incorrect. Israfel to the Muslims, Raphael to the Jews, Michael to Catholics. What are they? Katie, Lapeer East.
The devil?
That's also incorrect. Correct answer is angels. They are not archangels. I couldn't accept that. Here's your next toss-up. Three young men are on their way to a wedding when an old sailor stops one of them and forces him to listen to a long and fantastic tale. Chris, North Branch.
Coleridge's Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner.
That's correct. July 20, 1994 marked the 25th anniversary of the day the astronauts first landed on the moon. What president's name appears on the plaque? Clint, North Branch.
Richard Nixon.
Richard Nixon is correct. Your next toss-up? Because of the active black market traffic in caviar, this Black Sea fish is facing Adam, North Branch.
Sturgeon.
Sturgeon is correct. Your next toss-up teams. Albert Einstein's 1905 paper, Does the Inertia of a Body Depend on Its Energy Content?, proposed his famous relationship between mass and energy. What formula did he use? Rachel Lapeer East.
E equals mc squared?
E equals mc squared is correct. Your next toss-up teams. This region experiences the greatest temperature fluctuation in the world, with severe winters and warm summers. What is this region of Russia? Bob, North Branch.
Siberia.
Siberia is correct. Your next toss-up. It started almost as soon as the 100 Years' War stopped. On one side were the nobles of the North who supported King Henry. On the other side were the middle-class towns of the South who supported the Duke of York. It lasted from 14... Chris, North Branch.
War of the Roses.
War of the Roses is correct. Listen carefully, you may need paper and pencil. A minor league pitcher recently ended his short visit to the majors after allowing 5 runs to score and retiring only 1 batter. What was his last in the league earned run average? Time is called. His earned run average was 135. He pitched a third of an inning. At that rate, he would allow 15 runs an inning or 135 for a 9-inning game. Here's your next toss-up. Here Comes Santa Claus, Frosty the Snowman, and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer were all big hits for this singing. Bob, North Branch, you may answer.
Burl Ives.
That's incorrect, and the buzzer sounded at that point as far as the first round is concerned. We end our round. The singing California Cowboy is Gene Autry, and that's the correct answer to that question. And we end round 1 with Lapeer East behind. So Lapeer East, you get the first choice in round 2, our lightning round. As you know, I'm about to give you your choice of 3 categories. Once you've selected, you'll have 60 seconds to answer up to 10 questions in that category. Remember, you may consult during this round. You don't have to buzz in, but I'll only accept the answers of Katie, the team captain. We'll give you 10 points for each correct answer, a 20-point bonus if all 10 are correct. Once your 60 seconds is up, Lapeer East, North Branch, you'll have 30 seconds to answer any of the questions they missed, passed on, or didn't get to. And remember, Katie, if you don't know an answer, you must say pass before I continue. Here are your choices. At the Movies, 1995, Potpourri, 1995, or A Bird's Eye View.
At the Movies, 1995.
Okay, let's see just how much of 1995 you spent at the movies. For 10 points each, identify these movies and movie stars. Here we go. We begin with number 1. He was Batman in Batman Forever.
Val Kilmer.
Correct. She starred in While You Were Sleeping and
Sandra Bullock.
That's correct. In the movie Babe, the title character is this kind of animal.
Pig.
That's correct. Mr. Potato Head made his movie debut in this animated
Toy
hit.
Story.
That's correct. The most expensive movie ever made.
Waterworld.
That's correct. He was James Bond in GoldenEye.
Pierce Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan.
Correct. The first movie from a major studio to receive an NC-17 rating.
Showgirls.
Showgirls.
That's correct. Irene Bedard was the voice of this animated princess.
Pocahontas.
Correct. Oliver Stone's newest movie was about this president.
Nixon.
That's correct. He was Jim Lovell in Apollo 13 and Woody's voice in Toy Story.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks is 10 out of 10. Perfect score for Lapeer East. You'll score 100 plus the 20-point bonus for 120. North Branch, you may try to match that with Potpourri 95 or A Bird's Eye View.
Yeah, probably go for it. What? Yeah.
Potpourri.
Okay, very similar. The past year had its own unique variety of people, places, and things. For 10 points each, we want you to identify them. Here we go. We begin with number 1. She led the prosecution in the O.J. Simpson case.
Marcia Clark.
Correct. What www meant to many computer users.
World Wide Web.
Correct. A new color that was added to M&Ms.
Blue.
Correct. This Pope was a big hit in the Big Apple.
John Paul II.
John Paul II.
Correct. More than 500 people died from the July heat in the Windy City.
Chicago.
Correct. Alabama and 3 other southern states brought back this form of punishment.
Corporal punishment. Corporal punishment.
It's incorrect. This Oregon senator finally resigned.
Packwood.
Correct. They included Felix, Luis, Marilyn, Opal, and Roxanne.
Hurricanes.
Correct. Memnoch, the devil, was the 5th book in her vampire.
Anne Rice.
That's correct. This queen publicly called on her son and his wife to get a divorce.
Elizabeth II.
Elizabeth II.
That's correct. You're through all 10, and we'll give you 9 out of 10. Lapeer East were reset at 30 seconds, 1995 events.
They just said.
No, they said corporal.
Well, okay, now we're at 30 seconds. Alabama and 3 other southern states brought back this form of punishment.
Capital punishment?
That's also incorrect. Correct answer to that question is the chain gang. Okay. And that will conclude round 2. We'll be totaling up a lot of points scored in that round, and we'll be back for some extra credit right after this.
Divas traditionally inspire awe. They are goddesses.
Divas mean trouble.
They've all had their moments. People who say, with their every gesture, their every garment, their every tantrum, I'm special.
Of course they're special. They're divas, darling, only on great performances. And don't you forget it.
We all share concerns. WFUM's public affairs lineup on Sundays shares opinions, experts, and answers. Share intelligent television. Tell a friend.
This is viewer-supported WFUM, Flint.
Welcome back, everybody. Well, that 10 out of 10 lightning round tightened things up a bit. 60 points separate our 2 teams. And remember, teams, this is a chance to gain some extra credit. In this round, I will ask you toss-up questions. The rules for those are the same as in round 1, except that you will also, with a correct answer, get the right to answer 10 points worth question worth 10 points of extra credit. Remember, on extra credit questions, you may consult, and I'll accept the answer from the team captain. But keep in mind that you should only consult during extra credit questions and not toss-up questions. At the end of the game, if we're in the middle of a toss-up extra credit cycle, we play through the entire cycle until the game is over. Good luck. Here we go. It takes its name from the large theater in Moscow where it performs. Founded in 1773 as a dancing school, it has become the principal ballet company of Moscow. What is it? Bob North Branch.
Bolshoi.
Bolshoi is correct. North Branch, your extra credit. The familiar quotation, "Oh, what a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive," is taken from his long narrative poem Marmion, which recounts the daring exploits of the young knight Lochinvar. Who was this romantic English author?
Oh, Scott. Scott.
Scott.
That's correct. Here's your next toss-up. His fictional version of the life of Buddha is called Siddhartha. Who is this Nobel Prize-winning author of The Glass Bead Game and Steppenwolf? Bob North Branch.
Hess.
Hesse is correct. North Branch, your extra credit again. Originally built in 1660, it became the London residence of Queen Charlotte in 1762 when her husband, George III, purchased it for £28,000. It's still a royal residence. What is this architectural landmark?
Yeah,
Buckingham Palace.
That's correct as well. Another toss-up, teams. They fled from France and settled in the Carolinas after the Edict of Nantes was revoked. Who were these French Protestants slaughtered by Bob North Branch?
Huguenots.
Huguenots is correct. Your extra credit, North Branch. You may know nothing about the botfly, B-O-T, but he always seems to follow you. Where specifically would you find the creatures known as Dermatobia hominis?
Your skin.
That's an acceptable answer. They live under the human skin. Here's another toss-up, teams. In 1993, it celebrated its bicentennial with the opening of an underground mall, including 60 boutiques and 13 fast food counters, as well as the new Richelieu wing. What is the, Bob, North Branch?
The Louvre.
The Louvre is correct. North Branch, your extra credit. In the 12th century, these wandering singers from Provence region of France became famous for their poems and songs celebrating the ideals of chivalry and love. What were these romantic poets called?
Troubadours.
Troubadours is correct. Here's another toss-up. In Agatha Christie's mystery, Hercule Poirot talks of his little gray cells. What cells in the brain is Hercule referring to? Time's up. The little gray cells are the neurons. Here's another toss-up. The Shah planned to build an identical one in black stone. Bob, North Branch.
Taj Mahal.
Taj Mahal is correct. North Branch, your extra credit. It was formed in 1910 by the Union of the Republic of the Transvaal and the Orange Free State with British Natal and the Cape Colony. What African country is this?
Yes.
South Africa.
South Africa is correct. Here's another toss-up. No state shall, quote, deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws, end quote. What is this due process and equal justice amendment to the Constitution? Bob, North Branch.
10th Amendment.
That's incorrect. You may take it Lapeer East. Lapeer East, Rachel.
The second.
It's also incorrect, the 14th Amendment. Here's another toss-up. Get set for a mathematical question about sets. If set A contains the elements 1, 2, and 3, how many possible subsets can there be? Adam, North Branch.
6.
That's incorrect. You may take it Lapeer East. Lapeer East, Katie.
3.
8 is the correct answer. And here's another toss-up. It is the only one of Shakespeare's plays for which there is no known source. It may also have been his last play. Clint, North Branch.
The Tempest.
The Tempest is correct. And North Branch, this is your extra credit. Her official status is Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary. Who is our U.S. representative to the United Nations?
Oh, is it Madeleine Albright?
Yeah.
Madeleine Albright.
That's correct. Your next toss-up teams, Woodrow Wilson ordered him to take his troops into Mexico to catch Bob, North Branch.
Pershing.
Pershing is correct. Your extra credit, North Branch. In the 1982 movie Sword of the Valiant, Miles O'Keefe plays a young knight who must solve a riddle in a year or die. The movie is loosely based on a 14th century story, sometimes attributed to the Pearl poet. What is this classic of English literature?
The Green Knight. Yeah, it had something to do with the Green Knight.
The Green Knight.
More specific.
The Valiant Green Knight.
And the Pearl.
That's more specific, but it's not acceptable. Gawain and the Green Knight is the correct answer. We're on the right track. Here's another toss-up, teams. She claimed to have been kidnapped, but ended up serving 22 months as a bank robber. Name this newspaper heiress and Rachel Lapeer East.
Hearst.
Hearst is correct. Lapeer East, your extra credit. Ashur, Kala, and Nineveh were the three capitals of this empire that flourished in Mesopotamia from the 9th to the 7th centuries BC. What was it? Time's up. Assyria is the answer I need. Assyria took its name from the original capital, Ashur. Here's your next toss-up. New York City is a complex assortment of islands and parts of islands. In fact, of the 5 boroughs of New York, only one is on the mainland. Which one? Bob, North Branch.
Brooklyn.
That's incorrect. You may take a Lapeer East. Lapeer East, Katie.
The Bronx.
Bronx is the correct answer. Lapeer East, this is your extra credit. It got its name because its purple flowers turn to follow the sun through the course of a day. What is this shrub whose flowers resemble forget-me-nots?